the other realms. Today is Sunday. So sit with me and let's chat about a rather intriguing theory. A belief popularly shared by people in the New Age Enlightenment and globalist awakening circles. Makatram said, this theory is not my theory. A theory and I may share my opinion about it. This kind of thing, an idea makes spirituality look more physical. Like a real practice. Like our visible world is larger, including more. Said yehu we aseno na enye said yehu no de san na say obi edwane I mean esuma se yesi gina ho kakra na akoye problem amount. As unimaginable as some of these theories may look, the way binumo to me no, they give us something to expand our bigger minds to. Well, so wuni minyansa se be kafra fache me ade a wuti bia no untie, like you don't allow people to read for you to follow. When people are reading, you also read and make decisions. You just don't follow. I catch us where everybody is going. When you follow, sometimes you know follow masses now. Makatri ebi wa na no silent. Inti no behwa na follow masses instead of masses. Inti don't let somebody learn for you to follow. Ti na me say uti ade resonating with you no na wafa. I'm not saying this is the absolute truth because enye me theory. And then yes, so say enye me theory nti na meka say enye nokore. Eni ama wo ho. Na bibia ye nokore ma obi. Wo de ye bibi na ye yie ma wa. Na ye nokore. But say ye nokore ma na de ye bibi na ye yie na say emma wo generation nyina so a ehọ na ye questions no ewo. But I'm trying to rather share a perspective that invites us to look at our world with curious and open eyes. Mpese be ti so obi nko an wo kwan ono de otumi kohwe na obeka but me ne wo twetwe sa nkomo ani wahu say so obi nya kwan kohwe bibi ampa wo so wo kwan sa wo so utumi kohwe bi. So this is not downloads or my theories machire. Oh enti me pese wo ti ase wa so that next time when someone says think outside the box you will understand the literal meaning of that word. Simpese utie ade we ye mame. So, what at all are the details of these kinds of new age theories? Eya na ni mu nchire mu pa no eni ni si ginaye no den about our global spiritual perspective. Den sa theories no omoma ye ni na about our global spiritual perspective gina so no den. Eno na mi bisa no. Imagine that our universe isn't hidden. Fane say ye universe na ye timuni nyina ensie baabi a ni nyina da plate baakum ana ni nyina egu chance baakum na sija so unknown dark space we've been told it is na ense baabi a like esum na ebi wa ha ebi wa ye ebi wa sase ebi wo poani a ye hu but rather a vast endless flat plain, a kind of grand stage upon which so many lives of different creatures and entities unfold. Fanesa say nka ye nyina wiase ya ye kan nyina ye nka ntire obi a wona dream say ebi yehu wa ha na ebi yehu na angels wa ha na demons wa ha na bla 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 na omudi ni na gu bo ba kum na sija so na ehuru puto ana ye bubbles a na obi ejina ba bi a it say dome na ewom na obi ejina ba bi a ohu obi a anka sen nanka ebeye ha chewo. According to this theory, what we often call and know as planets might not be the celestial space worlds we think they are. It are almost theories no more, you know. Obehwe ne na kire say we ase ne nyese de ebi ase ende wo ye he ya ebi wo poase a enu ye different ebi wasase ase a enu ye different. Instead, they could be seen as distinct pockets of existence. So when about to say dome bibi na etwetwetwem, each one like a special piece of land or a continent, like that, enriched by a mysterious thick firmament. And there are zillions of these zones or domes in an infinite number that go endlessly. And na topic ni mundus infinitus. Nanka yadea bibi ade ni gu bibi mu ne ye ni hu ni nyina na wo se we mu wa ha na wo hwe kwa eni awieye se de wo hwe epo a wo hu ni tire na ankasan na wo bedwen. In short, imagine a plain stadium with millions of water bubbles, Patrodrini say Maame, and in each bubble is a micro tiny world like Earth. Inti fane say ye nyina stadium wiase ni na ye de aba stadium na wo show bia wo ne bubbles mu, and on the entire stadium there are endless numbers of bubbles with similar species. They say wo imagine wiase ni saying what separates the creatures of entities living on one bubble from the other is the thick firmament. Fanny saying, what do you imagine he's saying? But in our case, as we are in our bubble, we have been convinced that our bubble is the only planet with life. When we are doing, when you are to yetrim, she the way a mebubu adie we mama easy. We ye dear to nipetrim. The rest are planets in space that no one can survive. Ebi no mukasa asem we say uko space empo a wudi beans a be explode. Ebi so say baby wo kwa wo kwa untumi nante wo floati. We hear this all the time. And hopefully aliens are in those dark unknown spaces. Ebi no say baby wo hon so anti ye wo grace ye wo aliens no types bebrebe according to some people no. Almost what baby spaces baby a omote a onipa da sani entumi survival but nkrofo we ba ha be wie nipa de ko de bia sande omo ba me nipa ni wu o survive nti aye ana me bisa say momi endwen sa niama we hu. How do you feel? What do you think? To me, if it's a story that we can share with children, basically it gives them an alternative view of life. So what to me can asem we saying chire wo ba or what the way obehwe wiase obi entumi mbeka nkyere ne say oko heaven ni angels ni ade oba ne beti ase bubbles like there are other species and there are other portals and there are other domes just ye nyina ye wo baabi but a dome bi na etwitwa ye mu nti no there is a way a obi etumi fa sokọ baabi na wa ma oba na te ase onye limited e wo ha no mo pe. No one ma so what say going to another realm or not say going into another bubbles no, you will just have to have the strength to pass through this firmament to get through to the other side. Ubema uba no on suro nti so big kaka kire ne so no na okọ hin okọ din na ba ya uba no will look at that person and be like lawu. It gives them the space to expand their level of brain usage. Nti fa sanyama we mum hye uba ni tirim. Also in the Bible, in Genesis chapter 1, verse 6 to 8, mentions that God creates the firmament or dome to separate the waters. It's in the Bible. This is not my theory. A theory a work on a opinion. Don't be confused. Let's read it. Genesis chapter 1, verse 6 to 8. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it separate the waters from the waters. And God made the firmament and divided waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. We nyamasemu eye Bible na eka. Enti no na kire say bubbles ni nyina wo ho. Obia wo ne bubbles ma na obia dome na etwitwa ye ntam. Enti what makes us think say obi ntumi nko baabi, obi more than obi no obi ba ha de na obeje. So obi so free ha kokwa a eden na nipa no ono so okwa akoje eno na mpese ye dwen ho. If you are a Bible believing Christian, this verse should give you a reason to pay attention to this theory. If modern astrologers are telling us that the earth is spinning and moving at the speed of light, speed light, earth is spinning light almost say what's our speed. But the Bible also tells us in Psalm 104 verse 5 Bible so die ni astrologers ne die na ma Bible so die ni he set the earth on its foundations. That is Psalm 104 verse 5. It can never be moved. This is scripture. Ewo Bible ni mu. Ena we also na astrologers yi so say explain it. Nti na we ye kana ya kan sen. Nti de ahin ne ye fa, de ahin ne ye de ikoi. So, this editorial of infinitus, which translates to means that our physical and spiritual worlds are connected in an infinite plane, not in space or dark, unknown space galaxies. What we are saying now, the Bible scripture ya me de ma wi, wo di ni nyina de bobo so a, efe na wo behu se wiase no enye de ye hu yipe ne eye bubbles wiase bebrebe dome na atwitwa atwaye mu ana firmament na atwitwa atwaye mu. They are on a physical plane that we can see with our eyes, but adentina ye mfa ye ni hu omo. Mama Urenfi, we did an episode on how these people have the ability to pro hu ni said your tear because the shock alone will kill you. So we will be a wusua ade pa kwa echi a. You know, we have soulless being. We've done extensive editorial about this. Nkrofo ye omo ayete say nkotre ye omo ayi a ye ubehu say omo ni so. Why is it so? So omo te ha. But untumi hu omo anye bibia block here. Hu omo. But there are things say wo ability now the keke kan ho na ugina wa ebinim wa hu omo a ehu ye nananom na omo ta ka ba na omo de akose be yi. Omo si wuhie obi na ode ne ti nenam, ebi si wuhie obi na nanim ye half, ebi si wuhie obi na say na tete no upie kura na ade san nko betumi ehia ayi enufutebrebe ana say madam moke ana so say omo say the ankore bi na eruoli no. All those things, they were there. Are there people who are in their domain? Are you who omo the shock alone we can't? Are we living alone here? Just that we are inside a dome or bubble, like I told you, no. Ebia ye wo inside a dome and as a bubble, but we are seeing obia firmament ni chicheche ye nyina muti ye dɔso wa ha. And that separates us from other planes of existence. And ema ye hu because ubehu say yese nasafo omo kwa people are digging ebi kopo ase e kohwe niama ne de ka ho a wo ho no mo. Enti ma wo ba ne nti ase se ye wo places bebre wo ho. Just like wo ufi Accra ha ekokuma se a wo befo ka o Tamale a obefo ka obetumi af untumi mfa ka mfi Ghana enko America untumi mfa ka mfi Ghana enko Japan enye yie na wont ebi the ship ebi baabi ani baabi aye bibi aye de ko nti ma wo ba ne nti ase se there are other worlds the same place ye we adom atwam ebi so atwam oba ne nyina wo ne portal ana wo ne kwan aye fa so aye de ko so that wo ba ne be limited na obi atumi aye den ehunahuna no because baabi ani ade aye de ko.